Hi, welcome to the Mayor's Table. I'm Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett. My guest today is Joe Sanchez with Waste Management. Joe's the district manager for Waste Management, and we're here today at the Recycle Center. Joe, thanks for being with us.
I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to educate a little bit on recycling and to being able to service the residents of Farmington and keeping Farmington clean and green.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. We've spent some time here back in June, actually. Joe came and gave a presentation about the current recycling program that we do here in Farmington, and also kind of the national view of recycling right now, because there's been some changes that have happened here recently in the recycling market that is kind of impacting everybody. But for our 9,000 residents who are part of the recycle program, the curbside recycle program, we found that we better do a PSA and talk about what is and what is not recyclable, why that is, and kind of help them understand the recycle program as we see it right now. So I'm glad that you've actually gathered a lot of great things out here to talk about. So let's just dive right into it.
Sure.
Joe, what is recyclable? What can people put into their recycle cans and go curbside?
So there's a myth out there that if it has the recycle triangle on the back of the packaging, or if it has a number 1 through 7, it's recyclable. That's not necessarily the case. Here in Farmington, we have what we call a single stream of recycling. So there's only certain things that we take. One of them would be like jugs, like a milk jug. Another thing would be aluminum, like an aluminum can, a plastic water bottle, laundry detergent bottles. The whole key to that whole what's recyclable and what's not recyclable is making sure that it's a clean product when we get it. And we'll get a little bit into what that all means.
No, I think, and that was something that came out of the meeting that we had where I learned a lot. You know, I'm opening up a can and I dump out the beans, and then I'm throwing the can into the recycle without ever cleaning the can out. And so it came up during that meeting that we do need to clean those things. The milk jugs have to be rinsed out.
Yes.
The laundry detergent stuff has to be rinsed out. And then I also think people who are throwing out the thousands and thousands of plastic water bottles, don't leave the water in the water bottle, correct?
Correct. So the water, there's a few things that we want to keep away from in our contamination. Most of it is food contamination, like a pizza box. If a pizza box has a food stain on it or an oil stain on it, it's not recyclable. The other one is if we have a water bottle, for example, that has a little bit of water in it. When it gets in our trucks and we pick it up, that truck compresses the load, that water bottle breaks open and it provides moisture to the load, which contaminates whatever it touches. The other thing that's really important to remember about contamination, along with those things, is outside things like oils. One of the big things that you'll see is somebody has a big gallon jug of oil, cooking oil or something like that. They don't drain it all the way out. They put it in the recycling bin, and of course the same thing happens again. The plastic bottle eventually breaks and contaminates whatever it lands on. So,
well, I'm sure like a lot of people, what does contamination do to your organization? You know, Waste Management, obviously you're being contracted to gather and bundle up recyclable goods, and then you're selling it to somebody, correct?
yes.
Yeah. So when it gets gathered here in Farmington, it gets processed in our recycle place, it is bundled up, and then we send it where?
Right now we send it to Friedman's in Albuquerque.
Okay.
They're the supplier that's purchasing it from us, or purchasing it from the city of Farmington. And they dispose of it on whatever markets they see feasible for them on that. So most of it's overseas.
But they're going through all that stuff as well, correct? Because
correct.
Is there a contamination limit that's allowed for?
So as of late, our contamination levels used to be around 5%, is what everybody would take going into 2017. That has reduced significantly down to 0.5%. So
wow.
At this point, anything we can do to clean up our recycle stream is much needed, not just for the manufacturer we're selling it to, but it's hard to sell it when it's above that 0.5%. I recently have done an audit here in Farmington where we are doing a pretty good job here as Farmington residents as far as our contamination stream, but we can always do better. The last audit I just got done conducting here, we're roughly around 15% on what we're getting out of here once it comes to our mini MRF here at San Juan County Landfill. They process it again, and then we bale it, and then we ship it to Albuquerque from there. So once we process it there, it's leaving from here roughly around 6 to 5% to Albuquerque.
Okay. So the 9,000 residents that are throwing their recyclables into the bins, 15% of that that's going in there is contamination based on your audits, but when it leaves here, it's roughly 6%.
Correct.
And then in Albuquerque, they process it again before they send it to other markets.
Correct.
Interesting.
Correct. So a rough rule of thumb is...
Sure, let's talk about the contaminant.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
A rough rule of thumb is right now, America as a whole, 1 in every 4 items that gets thrown in a recycling container is not recyclable.
So 25% of what we're
25%.
tossing is not recyclable. Okay.
So we're gonna play a little game here and see how the mayor does it. What's recyclable, what's not recyclable.
All right.
So all these samples we're taking from our recycle center here already of stuff that's been dropped off. So here's a box we fished out of one of the recycling containers today, full of grocery bags.
Yeah.
Recyclable or not recyclable?
I would say grocery bags are not recyclable.
They are not recyclable. They're not recyclable here at the recycling center. Now, most of your grocery chains will have a bin up front for recycling. For us, because of our sorting process and the machinery we use to sort through the recyclables, all this does is tie up in our equipment and cause downtime. I have to pay extra labor for somebody to take that all out of our machinery and stuff so it sorts everything correctly.
Okay.
So,
so take those to your grocery store, or
Please.
actually, I guess make sure they have a program for it.
Yes.
But not to your bin or here to the recycling
Correctly.
center. Okay.
There's other ways to recycle these. I got some examples here. I'm fortunate enough that my wife does a little project with some of the schools and stuff on some of the stuff that she makes with these garbage bags. So please don't bring them to my house. Go ahead and take them. Continue to take them to the grocery store because I got plenty of these at my house. As you can see, it's a beach bag that she's made so
out
you can
of
take it to
grocery
Farmington
sacks.
Lake.
Yeah.
It's awesome to take to the lake, a day at the lake, throw all your sandy clothes in here, get home, wash it off, or just shake it out and it's done.
Excellent.
She also makes some, this is just a miniature prop of that, mats for the homeless to sleep on.
Okay.
Or they make great when you go camping, roll them up and you can camp out underneath the tree.
Nice.
And here's kind of a project she's got going. As you can see, it is an actual grocery bag that she's started to crochet into a bag or sleeping mat.
She's taking this serious, Joe.
She is taking it serious. And I can tell you that at my household, recycling is big.
Yeah.
Big. We definitely have more recyclable materials than we do waste.
Well, you'd made mention that you have 2 recycle cans and 1 regular can, so you're definitely making sure that you're putting things where they belong. So let's talk a little bit more about what can and cannot go into the bin.
Perfect.
I'm going to say yes.
So if you could see inside this cup, what do you see in there?
It's dirty.
It's dirty. That's one of them.
Okay.
The other thing you can see on the outside of the cup, it's got a wax material on it. That is not recyclable.
Good to know.
Okay. Boom can.
Can, yes, but it has to be washed out.
Has to be washed out.
Okay.
Everything free of any liquid in here. You know, an aluminum can, when you recycle aluminum can, within 60 days, it can be back on the shelf again, filled up.
Oh, that fast.
So aluminum's a great recycling
And that's been a good
product.
market for a long time.
It has.
Yes.
Cracker box.
As long as it's empty.
It is.
Okay.
Good call. Plastic containers.
I'm going to say yes.
Definitely yes.
Okay. But cleaned out again.
Cleaned out again. So another little known thing is years ago when recycling first started, you had to take off all the labels. So now there's processes in our recycling building that this will get put in a water bath of some sort and the label will come right off.
Okay.
So no need to do that and waste water.
Got it. Not in this. Not right now. No wasting water.
No wasting water.
Taco Bell box. Well, it looks oiled up. So you told me earlier, nothing with oil stains on it. So I would say no on that.
Correct.
Joe, I've let you down. I've definitely put that in recycle. I've definitely put a pizza box in recycle.
So here's a good rule.
This is good to know.
When in doubt, throw it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're not 100% sure that it's recyclable, throw it out.
You know, and not just getting, recycling and getting these things to a market where they can be used again, I think is critical, but also for us as a community, not adding this to our landfill, which has an expiration date. I mean, there's only so much you can put in that landfill.
Correct.
So the amount that we can reduce and not put in there helps us extend that life.
And that's a big thing, with land being the way it is today, there's a lot of process that goes into our landfills to make sure that we don't get any contaminants in our water stream. And blowing trash and stuff. One of the things here that we have at this recycling center, which is huge, is one of our bins located here is strictly glass.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why it's strictly glass, we don't recycle, melt down the glass again to turn it into glass. As you may know, glass is made out of sand. So we use it as a cover at our landfills to filter through anything that's going to seep through.
Oh, I didn't
so
know
we
that.
take it to our landfill, we crush it up, we put it down as a cover, and it helps us protect
know.
our environment.
Okay. So let's get through what other things we have here. Yes.
Definitely yes. It's
Cleaned
empty.
out.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good old donut box.
Looks dirty. I'm going to say no.
Good call.
All right.
Tin cans. Got the labels on them. Remember, we can take the labels off.
Okay. This one's dirty. This one is not. So this one would be a no. You got to wash that out. That one's okay.
Perfect.
That's crazy. Wow. I'm so glad we're doing this, Joe.
Newspaper.
Yes.
Definitely yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to jump over you a little bit.
Okay.
Cardboard.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cardboard's probably our easiest thing to recycle right now. We have a plant just outside of Thoreau where we take it to right now, and it's real simple for us to recycle right now.
Good.
So, like I said earlier, this is something that came straight out of our recycling bin here.
Yeah.
Is this recyclable?
No.
Why not?
Because it's got the trash bag around it. So
Exactly.
things inside look like they are. We got tin can, or we got aluminum cans, bottles, but because that plastic bag is on there, everything else gets thrown out, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And it's really important to remember that any film, like a grocery bag or even just a trash bag, that stuff gets tied up in our equipment and just adds to the cost of recycling.
Okay. Now, one of the programs, Joe, we said, how do we get this out in front of people so that they see this? And there's going to be Waste Management's rolling out stickers for the recycle bins, correct?
Correct.
And a social media push as well to make sure that we're educating folks. But I'm sure there's a website that people could go to as well. What would that be?
So the website, if you're ever in doubt on what you can recycle and you can't recycle, go to RORR.com. Recycle often, recycle right.
Okay.
It's full of great information. If you're a school teacher that has kids in it, it's got brochures in there on what good recycling, bad recycling is. It's got information in there on what is recyclable, what's not recyclable, what's contaminated, what's not contaminated. It's got a lot of great information on there. The sticker you're referring to, we are working our way through all the recycle cans in the city of Farmington to make sure that everything's got a label on top on what's good recycling and what's not good recycling.
Good. And again, from your home, we don't recycle glass from our home, but you can recycle glass here at 101 Spruce Street.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Well, Joe, I appreciate the information that you provided. Is there anything else you want to make sure we talk about before we go?
The only thing I'd like to reemphasize again is it has to be clean. We're trying to clean up our stream. I would love to see our participation rate go up from the 9,000 residents we have currently using recycling, but at the same time, I want to make sure that we're doing it right.
Sure, absolutely. We got the wind picking up here, Joe, so I don't want to get trash everywhere. Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Mayor's Table. I hope you've got as much out of it as I did. I know we'll be making some changes in our home, and we'll talk to you again here soon on the Mayor's Table.